You gotta work.
I think we're ready for game 2.
You gotta work.
Picks and bans. My guys, first pick yet again. What do you take away if you're my guys?
Rule 1 is don't give Nike away for free over a Jingwei.
Sure.
There's other things available on the table. Now, what my guys have done right at the start of the Freya ban is they're saying, okay, we probably still want Jingwei again, is what I'm thinking they're going to do here.
Could
so
be.
they're going to ban Freya so that Checo can't get Freya and Nike.
Yeah, and that was a huge problem because, like I mentioned, the way those passives interact, very, very strong. Both bans targeted at Zachsy, and that shows the level of respect that my guys have for that. Brochacho, formerly on a team with Zachsy as well, so he knows that God pool very, very well. Sylvanas going to round out the bans for saving Private Checo, but it is going to be the Nike first pick. You happy with this?
I am, but at the same time, I know the focus seems to be onto Zachsy with their bans here right now. So what they probably wanted to do there at the same time is probably pick up the Jingwei so he's not got something safe to play. He could go Jingwei Sol, they're both still available, but Nike's just so good with that global passive.
It is going to be Sol. Could go to Trauncii in the middle lane, though I do suspect that's going to be for Zachsy in the Hunter role. Second pick available. Could be a Ra. That's exactly what it is going to be. Leaving up that sustain. We didn't see any of it last time around. This time, saving Private Checo, they're going to take some for themselves in the middle lane. That solidifies that Sol in the duo, but that leaves open Jingwei for Transonics.
It was going to be Jingwei. It could have been anything for Transonics. We mentioned earlier on that he can play any pretty much god, but I'd like to see a support pickup here more than likely early. Guan is available, but there's an Odin, which is great against Ra as well. Can be ran, but Wolves loves it in the solo lane.
Wolves loves it in the solo lane, exactly. Well, I said Tyr is his premier god, but he's really been playing more Odin than anything in recent memory, so I expect that's going to be for him, though. Brochacho also likes to play himself some Odin. Brochacho just likes to do damage, basically, in the support role. Could see it there. Awilix locked in for saving Private Checo. The standard, you lock in Odin, we lock in Awilix.
Well, Awilix as well can do well against Nike, Jingwei, and Odin already, so it's a great pick for Checo here, and my guys have to be aware of that at the same time. I'm not sure about the Ares ban there by Checo. I know they know Brochacho loves his Ares, we all do, but the problem is they're going to have 3 dive gods then, Odin, Nike, and Ares, and they need to balance it out with someone who's going to be a bit more backline here. Them themselves banning Khepri, not so sure about. They probably need someone that's going to set the back.
That's true, but Brochacho's not your Khepri player necessarily.
Well, he's playing Nike or Odin. Like, that's the way I'm looking at it. Like, they've got 2 dives here. They need someone that's going to be in between to protect the back line and support the front line.
His Geb is very strong. I used to beg for him to play Geb to save me from my poor positioning. Bacchus going to be the other ban. Four Guardian bans that's going to leave open the Geb for saving Private Checo, and they're going to take it away immediately, going into the hands of JoltaK. That's going to be big to survive, to keep that Ra alive in that Odin cage.
Well, they had the flexible option there, my guys, with Odin and Nike that can multi-roll, and that's why we see the Thor drafted now, which tells me it's either Odin or Nike in the solo and the support positions overall. And that was the one benefit they had with all these support bans coming through, was like, listen, if we don't get the premier supports we want, we can transition these elsewhere.
I'm very interested to see if that's going to be Odin support or Odin solo, because like you mentioned, we're so used to seeing that be piloted by Wolves in that solo lane, but Nike support, we really haven't seen a whole lot of. Erlang Shen, the last pick here, yet again for saving Private Checo. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. StormyRays looked great on that warrior.
Not for the most part here, but I do like what my guys have. They've got a lot of backline and frontline, a little bit more, though. Checo has the sustain. It's going to come down to Odin and the likes of Pestilence and Curses to make sure the sustain doesn't become a big factor as the game goes on.
And I'm looking at KhaoticPurpose this time around for my guys. He was the one that the whole draft was sort of centered around last time. Didn't perform, but when I think of KhaoticPurpose, I think of a couple gods, Thor being one of them. It is going to be Nike in the support role, again going for the Mark of the Vanguard start. What does Nike bring to the support role?
Realistically, I mean, from the position, she's basically bringing her passive and her ability to disengage teammates at the back end as well. The ultimate will not necessarily be used for engagements all the time, but can be. It can actually support the back end too, of just slowing down those tanks that are trying to chase down the targets, even disarm to peel for them if required as well. And on top of that, the mobility.
Wolves taking a lot of damage here, but he's going to be able to jump out under that tier 1 tower just fine. He's got more than enough time to back and make sure he's safe and sound. Joey Donuts yet again, aka I Camp Solo. He's gone for the tank boots, as has KhaoticPurpose this time around. Usually you see these Thors, when they want to rush the boots, go for the Traveler shoes because they're able to get that proc from such a distance easily with that hammer. Do you think it's because he didn't have the game he wanted last time around? He wants that extra tankiness so he doesn't get blown up?
Maybe he's a little bit worried about the level 1 fighting, because that's what happened last game, and you don't want to fall down in that, so it will keep you a little bit more survivable with these tank boots. The reason we see the boots more often than that is the mobility as well.
Yeah.
Straight away with the mobility to transition the map quickly at the same time. And Talaria works when you're out of combat, not in combat, for that extra mobility.
Very true. Definitely a lot tankier with those guard boots as well in those level 1 engagements, but you are giving up a little bit in terms of farm. from going that Talaria.
Precisely.
But you're going to be able to be that tanky initiator that he likes to be on that Thor. And again, Wolves on this Odin. We're going to be interested to see how well he's rotating the middle lane, because that last game, StormyRays was usually a step or two ahead of him in rotating towards the middle lane. Wolves has got to be the first one there to bring that Odin cage and really punish Trauncii on this immobile.
Now, my guys' comp this time round is a little bit self-sustaining in the backside. Yes, they've still got Jing, but they've also got the Scylla, who can get out of fights a little bit easier on her own. This fight is crazy, though.
But shell pop there by Brochacho, as well as on saving Private Checo. KhaoticPurpose, he's got the spin. That's going to do a lot of damage, but the Rastan interrupts it nicely there for saving Private Checo. A 2-man Feather Step, 3-man Ren there for a Brochacho. Just everyone is so tanky. Brochacho, he's getting so low. JoltaK, the big Geb auto there, and as well as StormyRays picks up KhaoticPurpose. Joey Donuts was one hit from death, but the Feather Step dispositioned him beautifully. Another invade goes wrong for my guys.
It wasn't an invade, though, was it? It was just a skirmish around the elementals. Yeah. They'd not even spawned yet. They both met in the middle and went, let's just fight and see who wins. And at the end of the day, saving Private Checo went, thanks very much. We'll take the gold and go farm our jungle now. And you guys are super delayed in the early game. The best news that I can see, though, for the side of my guys off that, is they have a very late game composition with a Jingwei and Scylla. So they're not out of it, even though the start snowball is available right now for Checo.
Yeah, rough start right there for my guys. And the first blood going the way of Geb. Usually you don't want your Guardian to get that first blood, and I'm sure they would have rather had it go to Joey Donuts or StormyRays. But as far as Guardians that do get first blood, Geb's not one that I mind. You want to get him towards those later stages of the game.
Not just that, though, but he can invest quickly into his first couple of items. We mentioned how supports can be focused in the early game when they've not got at least one item online. Talaria Watches isn't enough to really sustain through a proper engagement. You need that first item. Now with Geb getting that first kill, it accelerates that a little bit and allows him to be a frontliner a little bit sooner.
And that's exactly what saving Private Checo is going to need. Brochacho's going to need a little bit of farm just now hitting level 2. 3-way split there in the solo lane for Wolves. That's going to set him even farther behind from StormyRays, even with that kill and the assist going the way of his enemy solo laner again. And it looks like it's going to be KhaoticPurpose sharing another wave on this right-hand side.
It seems more pressure onto StormyRays here, but StormyRays well aware of it here. They're trying to give Wolves a lead more often than not and clear the wave out for pressure elsewhere. But I think Stormy will be fine here as long as he plays it right. He
doesn't have 72 transformation. He's going to take a little bit of poke, but with how little damage KhaoticPurpose is doing right now with those guard boots, doesn't have to be too worried about it. Joey Donuts recognizes that there's still pressure on this right-hand side, so he's going to rotate over with the help of his support player, JoltaK. StormyRays walled off, but the shield, the knock-up.
The pin is very good as well. Now just happening easy. Feather steps are coming. Now the reinforcements from my guys are here. The crush does hit a home on StormyRays. Sadly, we didn't actually see the other part here. Otherwise, it could have been a rough situation if the root would have found a home.
Just, again, a very curious decision-making on this right-hand side from my guys. Still clearly not on the same page. They're looking at JoltaK. He's only level 2. Coviii's level 5. This time a monster can make a big difference in this engagement, but I like the presence of mind from Brochacho to jump out because Trauncii was lurking in that jungle with Searing Pain.
Don't really want to call people out, but this is just a stupid fight for all intents and purposes from my eyes. What's up in the jungle right now? What do you get if you get a kill here? You get absolutely nothing. There's a 1 minion wave in that lane. There is farm elsewhere on the map. The back copies are up on the left-hand side for Checo to be fighting over. They can share the farm elsewhere. Why all fight over nothing in the jungle? What are you going to do here, boys? You're going to wander the jungle like headless chickens looking for something to do instead of farming.
But Hindu, 4-man splitting solo lane and then 3-man splitting mid lane, that seems good, right?
It's more like relieve the pressure, fine. Don't hang around and try and force pressure when there's nothing to fight over here. Kills are not worth that much gold and experience right now. If they were worth more, granted, I could understand it a little bit more. But right now, there's nothing up in the jungle to fight on the right-hand side. The Gold Fury is more interesting to me. Let them fight by one guy in the solo lane. Go do Gold Fury, at least pressure it. Do something else.
And my guys need something right now, down 0-3 in kills. Red buff finally going to get taken right around the 4-minute mark, handing it over to Transonics. He's got the level lead over Coviiii right now, 7-6. Coviiii get a back, finish off that Dynasty plate helm, and with how much rotation and fighting there's been, kind of surprised he goes for that instead of trying to invest in that early boot. So looking for that early physical protection and damage and penetration, sure, but doesn't have that same rotation ability.
Yeah, very true indeed. The rotational ability is a big key there that you mentioned in overall. That he needs to be able to try and do that for the most part. I'm going to be just see where Brochacho goes, or whether it will be Talaria or not, because I think he needs Talaria this game to get the global gold that we mentioned last time as well, and he's enough to... Nike's another god that has HP 5 regen built into the kit that utilizes so well with Talaria, and the 25 HP 5 you get from that as well.
Very good point, as well as the fact that you don't really, the tank boots would have been so effective last game because of the amount of tick damage that Saving Private Checo had, but you don't see that this time. It's bursts of damage, it's raw ult, it's feather step, it's supernova, those sorts of things that aren't going to stack up that passive quite as quickly as they would have last game. Wolves, he's still behind in the solo lane because of how much sharing was happening on that right-hand side. You could see his net worth 300 gold down from that of StormyRays.
Now what should be happening right now is I can see Thor in the sky. Hold that.
He's going for Trauncii, but he's level 8. Sanctuary, Geb Shield gonna buy him some time for now. Again, it's Coviiii just so far behind in levels in this middle lane. Even without that Sanctuary, I don't think it would have had enough damage to kill the level 8 Ra.
It was a good little combo coming out from the shield and the Trauncii Sanctuary straight afterwards, but I think he could have saved the Aegis there in all intents and purposes and just seen if he took a little bit more poke first of all. Better safe than sorry overall. I like the fact that my guys are doing that, because I was going to say, I think we should see Checo with this gold lead of 2,000 right now. Should be looking to try and further this by going for the Gold Fury, or at least pressuring around there, forcing rotations out of my guys.
Either that or the buffs. Both are really good options here. Wolves taking a little bit of pressure on this right-hand side. He's actually going to cage 2 here. StormyRays, where are you going to go, my friend? But Wolves can't jump. He's going to get pulled in. StormyRays going to fall, but as is Wolves. JoltaK able to pick him up. Purification was used there, but with JoltaK here, they can turn and fight. KhaoticPurpose, he's got to use his defensive relic to make sure he's safe as well.
I would have liked KhaoticPurpose just to initiate and back up there. He didn't have any mana left to really fully commit and get a kill. You saw him put the wall down, throw the hammer. He was out of mana then. What he's going to do, just basic him down from there? Not going to get a chance against someone like a Awilix who can jump away on Suku. And as well as a Geb being there for support, you might as well have backed up and you would have saved your beads.
Exactly. KhaoticPurpose still not looking as clean as he's used to being. This is a guy, remember, he used to be Layers of Death. The first 2 weeks of the last split of the SCL in Season 3, he came out on top, MVP for Aware Gaming. They really took the scene by storm, and then he leaves the team, gets a little bit full of himself, decides he thinks he can do a little bit better, and then it comes back after they take him back, but they don't have the showing they want to at HRX. They fall very early on. In the semifinals, there were only 4 teams, but in a dominant fashion to soar. So this is a guy that I'm really looking at. Is his confidence affected from his poor LAN performance? And really, he didn't look like the same player after he came back.
Let's be honest, there's no team on console right now that are going to be happy with their performances for last year other than Eager, who won it all.
Trauncii gonna get out of danger there. JoltaK's gonna take a little bit of damage instead. Coviiii still has that ult. Shell popped from Brochacho, just in case, I suppose, of that ultimate from Ra, but Coviiii again holding on to that ultimate. JoltaK had no purification there, Hindu. That was an opportunity to go all in.
He didn't, but Joey did very good work for his team there.
Nike.
Gravity Surge was just used in the mid lane there on Nike. She's going to get bursted off the back of that. Trauncii gets credit for the kill. And I was going to give Joey a little bit of credit for that last little engagement just because he was looking after his Ra, who didn't have the Sanctuary up that we saw get burnt earlier.
Exactly. Both were in trouble, but neither was full comboed on. It was actually Brochacho that ate all the ults there. Gravity Surge into Searing Pain. And it just looks to me like Saving Private Checo is working better as a cohesive unit.
They really are. They're grouped up. The comms are together. They're grouped as a team the whole time. And this is why we're seeing people running in the jungle of my guys, because there's 4 members waiting.
Cage there dropped by Wolves just to make sure no one's chasing underneath that tier 2 tower. Transonics has made the rotation thanks to that rapid reincarnation passive.
This is a win. Look at left-hand side right now, because Zachsy's just free farming here as Transonics is trying to defend stuff that's already down.
JoltaK, he's out of mana. He's up on Suku. He's out of there, bro. Chacho just trying to get any sort of extra Talaria procs, but yeah, you're right. The whole team Purpose is on the right-hand side now, trying to make sure something happens, but everyone is out. Someone needs to go defend this tier 1 on left. Transonics is here, but like you mentioned, just a little bit too late. Zachsy, a free tower goes the way of Saving Private Checo.
But Transonics is going to try and punish him here, but with Disapparate available, Zachsy can just walk back to the safety of his new minion wave, and now Transonics does not have a tower to fall back to on this side. They gave away 500 gold in that rotation, trying to make a play happen that wasn't available.
Look at the gold right now for Soul on Zachsy in that duo lane. 5,800. He's 800 up on everyone else in terms of net worth in the game right now. Right around, 800 up on Jing as well. So Zachsy is just making things happen on this left-hand side. Really, really impressed with his play through the first game and a half.
I'm just glad from my guys' point of view that the right-hand side of the map is going to be worthless later on now, because obviously the elementals are going to stop spawning, and maybe they'll look towards the Gold Fury and trying to make Transonics a hard carry.
A late purification there. KhaoticPurpose, he's going to come into the fight, but he will be able to dash out there. Coviiii just trying to get a little bit of damage. Pops that I'm a Monster for the extra movement speed and the CC immunity. Going to find it onto Trauncii. Not enough damage though. Searing Pain off the mark as well. Wall wall onto Joey Donuts, forces his purification. He's going to step up right now.
Wolves.
No mana for him. Wolves, he's over the top. He's got the cage. He's looking for it, but he's too slow. Thanks to the slow from Zachsy, finally he finds a cage, but there's no follow-up left.
No, they can't, and he's starting the ring on his own there. But what a great play coming out from JoltaK. That Cataclysm was on point. The moment Odin lands, shut up, stay there. We ain't interested in you. And then on top of that, Zachsy drops a Supernova to peel for his team with a knock-up again. And now they've got an opportunity based off this to pick up Trans and the Gold Fury.
Trans has got to use that airstrike to get away. Coviiii, he's here, but no, I'm a monster. What's he going to secure this with? Gold Fury's already gone anyways. Goes the way of saving Private Checo. Another Gold Fury in this set. First one of this game too, however. 10 minutes in, 5-1, read the kills in favor of saving Private Checo, but that gold and experience lead, much worse than that kill deficit.
We need a leader on my guys. That's what I can see right now, and no one's really leading. They're all probably, I can almost guess the communications. Transonic's like, yo, I can come to this fight. And instead of some people going, no, don't bother, the fight's already done, we can't fight this now. He came anyway, nobody called that out, and then they lose stuff on the left, and it turns into even more.
KhaoticPurpose again off the mark with that ultimate, and Brochacho pays the price for it. Another death goes the way of the support. 3 for him. Snipe off the mark thanks to the taunt from StormyRays, but it wasn't even needed. Joey Donuts, a.k.a. ICampSolo, 3-0-4 for the young jungler for saving Private Checo. And like you mentioned, just no direction right now for my guys.
No direction, but JoltaK is going to fall there. Great kill for Coviiii. Really needed that. Can he find his second? No, not this time. Knock up, pull on Wolves.
The pull is beautiful there from Joey Donuts, but he doesn't have enough mana to follow up. He used the Rastan as well. Wolves over the top, but Zachsy's waiting for him. Beam there to support as well. Zachsy picks up his first kill. 1-0-0, but level 15 right now. He's looking at Coviiii. Off the mark though. Trauncii, he's still up there trying to fight against Transonics. Brochacho's made the rotation. Rend doing a lot of damage, and Transonics finishes him off with the basics. Coviii's still here, uses the purification to make sure he's not slowed by that Stellar Burst, but Zachsy's taking a lot of damage.
This is a mistake from Zachsy to be that far forward. Now, Raw and Sol were left alone in the mid by Checo. They gave a small window to my guys there for absolutely no reason. It was just carries alone. You need the front line with you. The front line had left. Disengage from the fight.
I don't mind Zachsy's positioning to try and pick up Coviiii when he's distracted trying to finish off Trauncii, but you just got to hit the skills. I mean, if he's able to find the 2 ult combo, it's a guaranteed death on the Coviiii instead. Can't find a mark, and as such, Coviiii walks away unscathed. A little bit of a boost there for my guys.
It's giving windows to my guys here overall. The carries have the kills right now. Of the 3, the carries mainly have them. Stop looking after Wolves. Wolves can look after himself here. They should be focused elsewhere on the map.
I've seen this before. Wolves stops him underneath the tower. The cage, the dunk down from KhaoticPurpose. That one finds a home with the taunt from StormyRays. KhaoticPurpose just not enough damage right now. Level 9. He's going to fall. StormyRays picks up his 3rd kill of the game. Coviii's made the rotation. Good route underneath the tower. StormyRays very, very low. Coviiii, meanwhile, running from Joey Donuts. Brochacho going to pick up his former teammate in StormyRays. I'm a monster. It's ready to go, but the shield and the feather step is perfect, and he's sniped away by Trauncii.
Trauncii's snipe there was on point, taking out Scylla straight after that, and still march on, saving Private Checo. Wolves goes back in, looking for minions and a little bit more damage, but now he's got no escape himself.
And there's the feather step again from Joey Donuts, but he's out of mana. He's got to be careful here. Wolves very low. Brochacho wants to help, but doesn't know if he can. Transonics is here. He's going to help Wolves pick up that kill. On to JoltaK. Now he's looking at Trauncii, trying to chase him down. Airstrike is available for the Hunter. Doesn't have that Fatalis built right now, but again, Zachsy just understands the flow of the map better than anyone else right now.
This is more communication from the team. Zachsy's telling him, you know, Transonics is on the way. Transonics does get a kill on the rotation there. Transonics is a fighter. Zachsy's a positional guy. That's what it kind of feels like to me. Zachsy recognizes what his role should be at all stages of the game. Should I rotate here or not? If I'm not rotating, tell my team. Trans is turned up going, I want to fight. He's a fighter. He shows it time and time again. The different playstyles are coming into effect here because now the fights are starting to go towards my guys a little bit more, picking up a couple more kills. But the global gold and experience is going the way of Checo because Zachsy is choosing towers, objectives. You don't win games by kills. You win games by destroying the towers and killing the Titan.
And if anyone showed that last season, it was Eager on the PC side. You could tell that they weren't worried about the kills. They were worried about the objectives. That's exactly how Zachsy's thinking right now. The red buff objective still going to be secure despite the contest there from Transonics. And when you look on paper, I mean, my guys, don't get me wrong, they've got stars all across the board. I'll hold that thought in the middle lane. Joey Donuts, he's very low thanks to that ultimate from KhaoticPurpose. Trauncii going to eat the wall. Joey's still fighting there with KhaoticPurpose, level 13. He's got the 3-level lead, slowed down by Brochacho. Transonics has made the rotation. Persistent Guts picks up the enemy jungler.
And the big problem here now is the collapse from my guys could be on. The ring is down and trapped inside it. Poor old man. The Cataclysm going to keep him alive and his shield too. But Geb is still going to stand. What?
He nowhere to go with that I'm a monster. Just not able to find the mark as well as the heal. Brochacho, he's the one in the bad spot now. Leaps away valiantly and saves his own life. Wolves still has to... Oh no, Wolves is dead. He died early on in that fight.
Awkward fight for both teams because the Gold Fury is about to spawn right now. We're about 10 seconds out on that, and both teams need to recognize that very, very early. Not only that, speed buffs are up too, and that's where Checo are looking at as KhaoticPurpose. He's going to see it.
He needs to secure the speed buff. He just needs the farm right now. He's not going to be able to get it, and it's JoltaK with that speed buff. The support dream, picking up a speed. You finally get a buff for once, and it's the best one.
It is the best one, but I don't think he meant to really do that overall.
Oh no, he meant, oh my bad. I didn't mean to pick that up.
That's pretty much how they play. That's what we do as supports.
Yeah, I know. You've taken my buffs numerous times.
Well, it's because I put the buff to more use than you, like, you know, losing it when you die 2 seconds later. So.
Debatable. I'm just trying out here to make plays. My guys trying to make plays, and they need it. Down 11-6 in kills right now. KhaoticPurpose, he's the one looking. JoltaK completely alone right now, except for the support of Zachsy. KhaoticPurpose only going to find the enemy support, using his entire kit on him. Snipe off the mark there from Trauncii. Nice knock up from Transonics, but nothing doing there. Ult for ult.
Geb could have died then if they've fully invested as a team. They didn't know. KhaoticPurpose fully invested on his own, and instead Geb can walk away happy that Thor's ult is down.
The Joey Donut's taking a lot of damage, but the sustain from Trauncii is just so strong. He's actually gone for a Lotus Crown second item right after the boots. What do you think about this, Hindu?
The Lotus Crown overall?
Yes.
Realistically, I mean, the Lotus Crown isn't something that you definitely want all the time, but I think he's very worried about being focused down by the physical heavy composition.
Could be. You're really looking at that in-combat healing more so than the out-of-combat healing that Raw is so potent at. On the left-hand side, Coviiii, forced use Purification. Love the patience there from Joey Donuts. Shield provided by Brochacho, Sentinel of Zeus, giving an AoE slow, but it's Joey Donuts chasing down Coviiii in the middle lane. Nowhere for him to go. Taunted from StormyRays. Supernova over the top of the Cataclysm as well. Wolves disintegrated. Next on the list is KhaoticPurpose. 3 kills, the way of saving Private Checo. Brochacho can do nothing but watch as his team falls.
Good work on the right-hand side, though, from Transonics to get out and try and buy time. Brochacho, too. They need to live, so they can't do the Fire Giant, but they can still lose the Gold Fury here to the way of Private Checo. Again, there's no contest from this one. So once again, another fight that Checo realized, hey, we won, what can we get off it? Hey, we won, what can we get off it? Every single time.
And just the AoE composition for saving Private Checo coming in big there. The snipe didn't find a home for Trauncii necessarily, but it was the Cataclysm Supernova combination between the support and the hunters.
They've got to be careful of Transonics, though. This is one little lease of life here for the side of my guys is this guy on your screen, because he is heavy in levels now, level 17. His build is a long way, and they've still not killed him. Even though he's made a lot of rotations for fights, he's in a strong spot right now. Be careful. They need to shut him down.
And
they have to.
Without the Dynasty Plate Helm for Trauncii, he's going to be very vulnerable to that damage from Transonics as well. And
they all are.
Yeah, exactly. KhaoticPurpose up into the sky. They're looking at Trauncii, looking for him in the middle lane. No one by him, but the Sanctuary, the Purification combination saves his life. JoltaK is here. He's ready to fight, but Wolves is teleported in. He's looking for Trauncii with that bird bomb. Finds it, the cage as well, but he's just juking in there, waiting for his team to buy him time.
But look what happened with Wolves there. He pins one in, but the rest of his team had already committed everything they had already. I'm a monster, though!
Oh, gets the reset on the StormyRays. Coviiii still looking for the second shot. He's got to turn around, looking at Joey Donuts. Not going to be able to find that. The snipe going to do a lot of damage to Coviiii, but the Sanctuary buys him a ton of time.
Still
Beautiful
alive?
use. No, Joey Donut, he is going to fall. The jump from both Brochacho and Wolves off the mark. Wolves so low. Brochacho, no jump available. The wall is beautiful, though, from KhaoticPurpose, but not beautiful enough. Zachsy picks up his 4th kill of the game. 4-0-3 for the Hunter, and now it's saving Private Checo. They've got the heals to sustain this siege.
Love the call coming down the right side from Joey Donuts. He's gone for speed buff right now. I'm going to steal that one away as the fight in mid continues. With a full minion wave here, they could look towards the tower. Blinking, and this could be death for Trans. Finally, they shut him down.
Transonics is there because he has his Sanctuary, so he's like, okay, guys, I'm fine. I can try and dissuade them, but the blink, the knock-up, the pull, it all means that you can't use your relics, and Transonics falls for the first time this game. That's exactly what you wanted saving Private Checo to do, was get a kill onto that enemy Hunter, and that's exactly what they did as they picked up the tier 2 tower.
Just so you know, they got at least 3 kills there, did saving Private Checo. The speed buff, the red buff, and a tier 2 tower. They are stripping things and continuing to control this game. My guys are... in disarray right now. I can just see them all doing individual things time again. Like Thor, for example, goes all on Geb. No one follows up to focus it down. Wolves sees his whole team going aggressive. They back up, then jumps and puts a ring on the Ra, and he's got no follow-up because they've used everything already. They need to get on the same page.
And that's what you get. I mean, we talked a lot about Wolves and Transonics during the last season when they were on Allegiance, and these are the two silent guys. They just kind of, they're there to listen, but that if they don't listen or if they're not respecting that call, or if they need someone to make that call, maybe they don't have the talkativeness of Clow on this exact roster.
Be an aggressive soldier, right? Be as aggressive as you want as a soldier, but listen to the general. And at the moment, we don't have any generals on this team from what I can tell, or no one's agreeing with the general because they just need someone to say, focus Thor, focus Erlang Shen. You know, just do it over and over again.
Well, here's the focus on to StormyRays. Exactly. Everyone on to top of him with the taunt and the Geb shield. No way they're going to be able to punch through that level 17 solo laner. JoltaK has made the rotation. Wolves, he's in a bad spot right now. Cataclysm off the mark, as is the snipe from Trauncii. JoltaK, he's not done yet, though, jumping after the enemy solo laner. Wrath going to buy him a little bit of time. Wall actually hurts his own team more than it helps it for KhaoticPurposes.
This actually works out pretty well for my guys because they only invested 2 ultimates there. However, they will lose a tier 1 on the right, which they're going to have to accept. Bro, Chacho's going in for a second. Yeah, they lose a tier 1 right, but they didn't lose too much because in mid, Transonics is answering this back.
Taking a page out of Zachsy's book right now, but JoltaK blinking in, looking at KhaoticPurpose. Both relics burned. Thanks to that Geb shield, he's still healthy as well. Bro, Chacho just trying to fend off this push, but Zachsy, he's level 20. So hard to defend him from this tier 2 tower. Double root there from Coviiii. Double knockup from Bro Chacho. Coviiii still has that I'm a monster. Supernova is down. Bro Chacho pops Sentinel of Zeus as well. The cage. Coviiii finds a lot of damage, but no reset quite yet.
The bird bomb, though, from Wolves will hit home and kill off the Geb. Knock him again. Gonna find it. House home from JoltaK after the feather step. Suku, he's trying to get away, but I don't think he can. Berserker Barrage. One more hit. No, the tick.
Oh, Coviiii. He was gonna find him, though. Snipe does find a home that time for Trauncii, able to do a decent amount of damage, but not enough to finish anyone off. JoltaK and JoltaK both fall, and they don't get that tier 2 tower. A successful defense on that right-hand side.
That was Checo there trying to close the game out. They were trying to break the game completely by winning that fight and taking a tier 2, which would have resulted in a Phoenix on the back of it. The problem is, by actually losing that engagement as bad as they did, they lost a tier 2 in the mid lane as well as the tier 1. And on top of that, Transonics has continued to farm up to catch up to level 20. Keep an eye on him. He's ahead of everybody outside of Zachsy on saving Private Checo.
He's got that crit completed as well. And Coviiii, he's got a lot of player damage, but again, just behind in farm. Now only a level behind, but I love this Soul Reaver pickup from him, understanding that they need his damage and they need it now.
Other thing I can note as well, we've only got 1 curse on the side of my guys right now. Would like to see a Pestilence maybe coming out. They need some anti-heal coming out, some anti-lifesteal heal coming out basically overall. Not just to deal with Ra, but also to deal with the fact that Sol can get some lifesteal. The fact that as well you've got Erlang Shen that's going to get some lifesteal off this and get the healing. Try and reduce it a little bit more, makes these fights a little bit different.
A runic shield as well would pay big dividends for my guys on either Wolves or Bro Chacho, both playing that warrior support. Someone needs to stop Zachsy from doing as much damage as he is. Gold Fury falling a little bit below half. 2 have already gone the way of saving Private Checo, but JoltaK, he's caught in a ring on that right-hand side. Meanwhile, StormyRays, he's content to split push, but JoltaK is going to fall to Coviiii. On this left-hand side, 3v5 is happening. StormyRays, he's picking up that tower. He does have the teleport available, so he can come here, but they need him. Yeah, Zachsy falling very low. Coviii's going to be able to pick him up.
Risky fight from Checo here, because now they're in trouble as well. Geb's running for his life, but I think Geb's going to fall down here as well. They lose 2 lives for a tier 2 tower on the right. I don't know why Stormy backed. Stormy should have gone for Phoenix right now. 2 minion waves there, and you can also see Wolves did go immediately back to defend if need be, but he should have stuck there for a little bit longer. He knows they're probably going to lose the Gold Fury off this, but I don't think my guys know Gold Fury's up.
No, they might know it's, they do know it's up. They saw them doing it, but the Wrath from StormyRays is the one that's dissuading them. But StormyRays, he isn't coming anywhere close. Tier 1 tower on the left side falls, and now it's going to be the Gold Fury, I think, the focus for my guys. The Wolves isn't there. He's the one with the Wrath on the side of my guys, though it isn't off cooldown right now. So they're going to look at the Gold Fury. StormyRays still hanging around that right-hand side, not trying to stop them from doing this gold.
That wasn't the my guys call being great or anything like that from my point of view. It was more Checo just like biting off too much more than they can chew, trying to do 3 things at once. If you're going to go for the tier 2 tower on the right-hand side, you play aggressive on the left-hand side, but at the same time, you realize you're going to be at a disadvantage. So you back up earlier. You don't try and take the fight just because you're ahead.
Oh, Wolves pulled back in. Gravity Surge. Joey Donuts locks him in place again, but the snipe way off there from Trauncii. Taunted back in. StormyRays. Wolves very, very low. No Rast stun, just got stunned out there. Joey Donuts still looking for him. Wolves has got so much cooldown available to him, though. He's got so much HP. Joey still not letting him go. The Raven Shield, yeah, it's time. Wolves is out.
But they invested a lot in that. Look how many ultimates are available for my guys right now. A little bit more of an advantage over Checo here with the Gold Fury being down as well. The big key is, I said this earlier, why are you trying to camp for Wolves? Just leave Wolves to do Wolves things. He can 2v1, he can 3v1. We've seen him do it before. Yeah. Focus elsewhere on the map. Where are your carries right now? Wolves is playing a freaking Odin, right? Focus on feeding the Scylla. Focus on feeding the Jing Wei. Don't worry so much about making sure Odin gets to late game.
Well, bro, Trauncii needs to be worried right now. Use that Sentinel of Zeus just to give himself that gigantic health shield and make sure he's okay. But again, while this is happening on the right, Transonics, he's on the left. Getting another tower in favor of my guys.
And this is what my guys realized. They were at a big deficit here, and to close the gap, they have to pull the map around. And the way that Checo keeps on fighting the way they do, they're happy to fight all the time. They have to make sure my guys don't end up doing what they're doing and climb back in by the towers.
This is where the experience for my guys really starts to shine, and the lack thereof starts to show for saving Private Checo. You can see when my guys understands that StormyRays is on right, we already got a pick on that right-hand jungle. That's a 3v5 fight we have in the left side jungle, whereas saving Private Checo, they try and force it on the right, they try and go for Brochacho, but no one stops to answer no one backs to stop the Jing Wei, exactly.
Well, they will defend the Phoenix on the left-hand side, which is important, but what they could have done there is either try and falsify the Fire Giant with a man advantage, or go over to the left and make sure it's defended. Pick one or the other. You can't be like looking for a fight near the speed buff instead of like trying to draw him in for a Fire Giant, maybe.
Brochacho, he's looking for a fight by the enemy speed buff this time around. Joey Donuts, he hops on Suko. He's out. Wolves are trying to get a little bit of poke on his Zachsy. Even if he had found it, it wouldn't matter due to that sustain from Trauncii. Love the Rod of Asclepius pickup. Third item there. It's pretty standard, but it's like you mentioned, it's extra potent with this particular lineup. Going to help that healing from Soul with Radiance. Going to help that healing from Erlang Shen with the ultimate as well.
But we're hitting late game right about now. Late game's about to kick into effect, and this is where I can see the issues as this game is pretty much even again all of a sudden after a massive advantage for Checo. Early game, my guys struggle with early and mid. Transition better into the mid game though overall, and Checo, they seem to struggle in the late game and don't know what to do.
Chaotic Purpose, he's looking for someone to get it in that range of that ultimate. Trauncii uses only the Purification. I'm a Monster off the mark there from Coviiii. 2 caged in by Wolves. Supernova over the top, going to do a decent amount of damage, but not quite enough. Coviii's going to find the first kill. That's on a StormyRays. The second frontliner for saving Private Checo falls as well. JoltaK falls to the enemy Thor. Now Transonics, he's in trouble. The blink in from Joey Donuts, but the Moonlight Charge off the mark. 2 for 0, both tanky frontliners now dead for saving Private Checo.
And what happened there was Trauncii wasn't able to get in the fight at all. They zoned him away with their frontline with Thor and the Nike, just keeping him busy. It allowed the rest of the team to do work on the back with their carries without the sustain coming into play.
And look at Wolves just zoning everyone away. Comes in, wraps away the Fire Giant. 5 members. Joey Donuts jumps in and eats 2 crits immediately. Transonics, he's going to pick up his 4th kill. Wow, the damage there from Transonics, and you called it early on there,
it's one of the only ways they've got back in is this Transonics on Jing Wei. He's very farmed. He's equal or above everyone on Checo in terms of levels alone, and his build is finished for all intents and purposes. It's a great situation to be in. Now they've got Fire Giant. My guys are in the lead now. They shouldn't be. This is more Checo making small mistakes in the later stages of the game.
This game was all but over at one point. I mean, it was a 7,000 plus gold lead, almost a 10,000 experience lead as well. But a couple of mistakes, like you mentioned, by saving Private Checo, have opened the door, and all of a sudden, my guys, they've come storming in through it, up right now. Down in kills still 15 to 18, but the experience in gold, it's in the blue team's favor.
For one thing in this game as well, Transonics, yeah, I think early game he made some terrible mistakes with his team of rotating to the fights. However, what he did during this whole set is adapt and learn from what he's been doing wrong. He saw Zachsy farm up towers, get the global goal back. What did Transonics do? Did the same thing then in response, and Checo didn't have an answer for that either. And instead, Zachsy's kind of been a non-factor as this game's gone on. He's had some pretty good individual plays, but after the towers, what's he really done?
Not a whole lot. And the other difference maker for me in this game has been Coviiii in the middle lane compared to Trauncii. Last game it was Trauncii on point with every single Kraken, every single Whirlpool, The snipes just haven't been there for him this game, whereas Coviiii, look at his player damage. He's 7,000 damage above anyone else in the game right now. Now level 20, still working on finishing off that route up to Hootie, but even though the resets haven't been there for my monster, it's been the crushes, it's been the roots, setting up a lot of damage for the rest of his team.
Some of this is coming to the fact that Checo as well, when I look at them, they've been playing so well and been so far in the lead in both these two games that they've just kind of fired ultimates willy-nilly to an extent, you know, just free firing them, hoping they're going to find a home. Whereas when it gets a little bit tricky, you need to communicate when you're going to use those ultimates. You need to communicate the CC a little bit more so these raw ults can hit every time. You can't just hope for the highlight reel play every time, otherwise you can give windows back in.
Exactly, and there's plenty of setup right now for Trauncii on this raw. You've got the Geb knockup, the Geb Cataclysm, the double CC, the
Gravity Surge.
Exactly, so many different ways to make sure that Searing Pain is hit, and I don't think we've seen a relevant one hit in about
not in a while.
25 minutes.
He's trying to line up multiple people, and instead of just going for the one hot kill and then 4v5 straight afterwards, you know, they have the potential to do that. Now they're on the back foot, though, and the big key for my guys here is to try and split them up. They don't want this team grouped together. They are still even in my eyes right now with how this game's going. Yeah, it's a 5k goal lead, but it's not that much considering everyone's pretty much at the same amount of build right now. They need to split them up. Look for an isolated target that makes a small mistake and commit.
All defensive relics up on both sides as well, so no one in a particular amount of danger. JoltaK plenty tanky. He doesn't have to worry about anything like that either. KhaoticPurpose on this right-hand side, like you mentioned, splitting up the map right now. KhaoticPurpose, he's the one with the global ultimate. He's the one who can rotate from right side and make a quick impact on the left. Wolves, he's got to look for a big cage here, though. Could really find Trauncii, but it's JoltaK blinking in. Cage, not going to find the mark. JoltaK actually blinked out of that cage from Wolves. That's a huge cooldown.
It is a huge cooldown, but ring for blink at the moment is fine. Hold the Phoenix. That's all we're trying to do. Hold the Phoenix. We don't care about killing him. We wait for the Fire Giant buff to wear off, and then we can fight again. Don't give up the Phoenix if we can help it.
Transonics does have Titan's Bane, so his Phoenix shredding potential is very, very high. It's only going to take a couple auto attacks for that to fall. Trauncii, look how far back he is right now.
JoltaK can't take that many shots. If he keeps taking shots like that, he's going to get weaker and weaker, and before he's already dead, see?
There he goes. Transonics able to pick him up. Snipe again off the mark from Trauncii. Transonics, he's on the run. One auto attack from death, but Airstrike will save his life for now. KhaoticPurpose still on the right-hand side. On the left, though, Brochacho, he's going to combine with Wolves for the kill onto Joey Donuts. Zachsy doing his best to fend off my guys, but Coviiii and Wolves, they're on this Phoenix. Coviiii needs to be careful here, though. He's going to take a lot of damage from StormyRays.
Yeah, StormyRays should be able to clean him up. One hit from death. The Phoenix shot comes through to clean that up off the top of it. StormyRays in the front line could be looking at Wolves here, but instead looking towards KhaoticPurpose instead. The ring now on him. It's allowing Transonics just to poke away for free.
But it's not enough damage. Stormy's too tanky. The knockup is perfect from Brochacho, but the Turtle Shield going to pay big dividends for StormyRays. Transonics needs someone to tank up this Phoenix to make sure he can take it down quickly. He's life-stealed after that prior engagement, and it is going to be the left side Phoenix falling. One kill, or one death rather, for my guys. Two on the side of saving Private Checo, but they only lose one. No, they actually lost two Phoenixes. Did KhaoticPurpose split push that one down in the middle?
I believe so. He managed to get some pockets. I think I might have been Transonics rotating there even to get that one down. So in the grand scheme of things, this was a crazy little fight on the left-hand side because my guys go way too deep. And they should have been punished heavier for that one. They shouldn't have got the Phoenix. They should have lost that fight in its entirety. First up, let's talk about JoltaK on Checo.
Yes.
He took too much free poke. He needs to know as a Geb that, yeah, late game, he's going to get shredded whoever you are. You can take a couple of autos and it's like, all right, boys, I'm going to have to back up now. Someone's going to take the part. Once he's dead, right, then we see the whole of my guys commit, go deep into the base. And instead of StormyRays coming in and picking up the people that are in his own base overextended on low health, he goes for the carries who are in a perfectly safe position. This allows him to be picked off in the end, even though he gets Coviiii. He should have taken out the front line, because this could have been a fire giant for Checo right now.
And look at the build coming out from JoltaK. It was really the big crush from Coviiii that did the majority of that damage. Yeah, it was the auto attack from Transonics that got him low enough, but then the big crush did about half his HP in addition to Soul Reaver proc. And he's gone for the Breastplate of Valor here. Would you have built into some more magical defense in this sort of scenario?
What, up against this team? I mean, potentially, yeah, but at the same time, you want cooldown, you need items finished a little bit earlier on. I like the physical, though, because you've got to deal with three frontliners that are going to be hitting you over and over again. And Transonics.
JoltaK is a moment too late to steal that. Now the two-man cage, Coviiii. He's looking for the Eye of a Monster. It's going to find a home onto JoltaK. Shield going to buy him a bit of time, but not enough. Two kills go the way of my guys, Transonics. He's not done. He's dashing in. Trauncii forces a Sanctuary. I don't think he's going to be able to get out either, though. Coviiii going to pick up Zachsy, meanwhile, all by himself in that jungle. 4 kills, only Joey Donuts left alive. Game 2 looks like it's going the way of my guys.
As this game is ending, just look at the levels that Checo have there on the right-hand side. You notice how 2 people on that team are still not level 20? Yeah, everybody on the side of my guys is. The big issue from that team, from Checo there in that game, is they got a massive lead, but they carried on to fight and not continue to farm at the same time. The farming kind of slowed down from some of them. Others kept farming. They didn't farm enough.
And it was just the fight decision-making just wasn't there yet for Saving Private Checo. And that's usually what you come to expect from these Challenger Cup teams and the teams that don't have the level of experience as, say, a team like my guys. I mean, Zachsy and Camping Solo, the 2 guys that have had real SCL experience on that side, but everyone else still needs to really get up to speed.
A lot of people look at that as a throw in the grand scheme of things. And even if they do class that as a throw from Checo, what they can do is look back and go, let's never make those mistakes again. We can see where we went wrong. As long as we do it now, we can adjust for next week's.
Quick addendum, Trauncii also did have some SCL experience and also has SCL experience. It's Transonics. He's got experience at winning lands, at doing it all, and he did it all that time for my guys, just making things happen with the farm and with the plays here going on Trauncii. And this is where I think the lack of Lotus Crown really helped hurt Trauncii at this stage of the game.
Yeah, I mean, the Lotus Crown would have helped him. Sorry, the lack of Lotus Crown,
I'm sorry, the lack of Dynasty play
That's the
by
one you're
picking up the Lotus.
By picking up the Lotus, it helps the team a little bit more for their protections, but not your individual ones. And when you've got 4 physicals against you in the enemy team, you got to be a little bit careful.
Exactly, and Trauncii, like we mentioned, a little bit off the mark with those snipes as well. We're going to take a quick break, get ready for Game 3. Game 3 is going to be hot, though. You can already tell. Just plays back and forth. I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm predicting Checo take the early game. Guaranteed.
Well, they've gone 2 for 0 so far in early game, but the series is tied up 1-1. We'll be right back after a quick break.